In Cyberpunk 2077, V's ascent into the criminal underworld was explored in a 5-minute cutscene. In Cyberpunk Edgerunners, David Martinez takes about 5 episodes to fully break bad. That time gives the creative team breathing room to fully explore Night City in an exhilarating 10-episode series that makes a strong argument that CDPR might have something solid to build on for future Cyberpunk stories. Cyberpunk Edgerunners is a spin-off of Cyberpunk 2077, meaning it is set in the same version of Mike Pondsmith's famous tabletop RPG as interpreted by the developers of The Witcher. The locations and designs are identical to the ones you see in the video game, but the story is focused on a new set of characters. In short, don't expect to see V or Johnny Silverhand in the anime. Instead, Edgerunners follows David Martinez, a brilliant student whose talents can't be supported by the wages of his single mother. When David has to begin fending for himself, Edgerunners takes the time to explore how Night City can be terrifying in ways that go beyond psychotic, cybernetically enhanced street gangs. As David finds himself slowly drowning in debt, Night City's hyper-capitalism becomes the early villain in Edgerunners. David's luck changes when he meets a mysterious netrunner named Lucy and falls in with a lovable mercenary group led by the strong-willed and armed Maine. Thus begins his journey into becoming a mercenary in Night City.
Gotta get out of here, understand? And I'll kill anyone who gets in my way.
Whereas V's mercenary adventures are quite literally hijacked by Keanu Reeves' Johnny Silverhand, David's storyline is almost exclusively focused on the criminal elements of Night City. Maine's crew will end up getting tangled up in a feud between two of the city's largest megacorps and the schemes of a fixer named Faraday. Edgerunners is at its best when the various elements of Night City's hostile life cycles are explored, seen in the way street gangs and mercenaries commit crimes on behalf of fixers who themselves are beholden to Night City's true rulers, the megacorps. These relationships are front and center of Cyberpunk Edgerunners, with David's rise within this food chain serving as a fascinating vantage point to take in this setting. Visually, this story is only enhanced by Studio Trigger, whereas famous cyberpunk anime like Ghost in the Shell and Akira focus on highly detailed, futuristic cityscapes, Studio Trigger approaches the material with an exaggerated flair. A cyberpunk anime never looked more alive than when Studio Trigger filters Night City through the same lens that created highly stylized works like Kill la Kill.
Fear is freedom! Subjugation is liberation!
The story has a seesaw effect with Studio Trigger's more fun and extravagant animation style. When the story becomes too grim, the art style helps lift it up to maintain the hyper-reality of the cyberpunk genre, while the mature storytelling also reins in Studio Trigger from going too overboard tonally. It's a compliment, not a clash. All this is to say Edgerunners might end up being one of this year's sleeper hits. Edgerunners intentionally chose to explore the wide, societal aspects of Night City to great results. Still, that comes with a drawback. While the characters at the center of Edgerunners are worth investing in, they get lost in the series' focus on Night City. Some characters are gone too soon, while others enter the picture without proper intros. Luckily, the central duo of David and Lucy get a chance at a full story, chronicling the two's growing relationship and leading up to a heartbreaking finale.
っていうか、夢ってやつ。
それって他人の夢じゃん。
Cyberpunk has always been about Night City more than its characters, and Edgerunners is able to zero in on the life and times of Night City mercenaries, who are all just trying to live their lives and survive. In a way, Edgerunners also serves as a companion piece to Cyberpunk 2077 rather than an alternative. Between the anime and the video game, fans can experience Night City from 2 unique angles. Going into Cyberpunk Edgerunners, I was curious if there's even a need for another Cyberpunk anime in the year 2022. The genre and the medium have come together so many times, it's hard to imagine there are even new stories worth telling in this space. But Cyberpunk Edgerunners makes a case that there's still plenty left to mine in CDPR's vision of Night City, and perhaps even the blueprint for where they should take the series in the future. Cyberpunk Edgerunners doesn't overtake Cyberpunk 2077 so much as it expands upon it, but for the best version of Night City this side of the 21st century, consider diving into Studio Trigger's madcap vision of the famous tabletop RPG. It's a wild ride, but worth every blistering second, choom. For more animation goodness, check out our review of Harley Quinn Season 3, and for everything else, keep it here on IGN.
俺が君を月に連れて行くよ。約束する。